Hello and welcome back to the Freed Man once again. Now, we've covered a little bit of nautical, we've covered a little bit of aeronautical. Today I want to cover something a little bit more historical in the form of some rather strange bearded men that you may or may not have noticed in the pub. Now, I'm not talking about myself or some of our customers. What I'm talking about is the fragments of Bellarmine jug that we have on display. The gentlemen in question are above your heads looking down on you, and we'll look at those in a little bit more detail later. But first, we'll have a look at some complete examples of Bellamine jugs. Bellamine jugs, sometimes known as Bellarmine jugs, were produced in Germany from the 16th century onwards. They used a revolutionary new type of glaze called salt glaze. Salt glaze is a particularly robust glaze, which means that many of these jugs have survived despite their age in relatively good condition. They are highly collectible and can fetch hundreds of pounds. Bellamine jugs were originally called Bellarmine jugs, which roughly translates to bearded man. However, it was changed to Bellamine to mock a cardinal of the same name, who was very anti-Protestant and also anti-drink. The bearded men in the Freed Man came to the pub a few years ago in a carrier bag, the story being that they had been dug up during roadworks in Sandwich in the 70s and had languished in a potting shed since then. They cost me a couple of pints of beer, and I think you'll agree it was a couple of pints well spent. Although the jugs originated in Germany in the 15th century, other countries quickly copied the design, including England. Now, the German jugs, the countenance tends to be rather more benign, like this chap here, and I have to say he is one of my favourites, whereas the English jugs, the faces tend to be rather more angry, possibly as a result of the connection between the rather puritanical, anti-Protestant and anti-drinking Cardinal Bellamine. Another feature of Bellarmine jugs are the cartouches seen on the bellies of many of them. Sometimes they depict city coats of arms or family coats of arms, or sometimes they're simply nonsensical whimsies used as decoration. However, sometimes they were used for satirical purposes, like this one here that I found in Sandwich Bay a few years ago. It features a hydra with 3 heads. One is an angel, the centre one is a Turk, and the one on the right is the Pope. Satire aside, the cartouche is also useful for dating. This particular design places this piece of pot between 1560 and 1580. And my favourite beach find ever is this tiny fragment of Bellamine. I love the look on his face, the fact he's an unlikely survivor, and it was a 1,000,000 to 1 chance that I found him in the shingle at Kingsdown. I was climbing a slope, glanced down and saw those eyes gazing back at me across over 4 centuries of history. Well, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, then look out for video number 5, which I'm making at the moment. It's going to cover a small shipwreck of a vessel that lies within stone's throw of the beach at North Deal. I hope to see you then, and thank you once again for watching.